find what you love and let it kill you. Like literally, you've got to find what you love and let it kill you. There's an African proverb that says, the hunter goes to hunt the elephants, and when he succeeds, his poverty ends, and when he fails, his poverty ends. Literally, it's a win-win situation. Right now, we're at the part where it's December and we have goals for the other year. New year, new me, but nah. The same tools that caused those problems will not be the same tools that will fix the same problems. So you've got to change, and change comes from death and reborn. That's why in certain all religions, actually, they and even secret societies, they value the symbol of death and being reborn, because it's literal change. The old you has to die for the new you to be reborn. For you to change your actions, something internal has to change too. And mentally, everywhere, you've got to change everywhere. For outside things to change, you've got to change in here too. You've got to go into the abyss. So change comes from that. Like, that's why you get baptized when you get born again. You get baptized. You getting baptized, you die and you come back to life as a new person. In other religions too, when you die, like in Japan, they go out into the mountains and they say they wear white robes, because in Japan white robes symbolize death. So they literally kill the old selves to be born as the new version of themselves. That's the only way. You've got to find something meaningful enough for you to go through that situation. Like something that you would die for, something that you would justify your suffering, because literally you're going to suffer either way. I have realized that most of us are delusional. We are very, very delusional, including me. I am very delusional. At some point, it's a good thing. At some point, it's not a good thing, because sometimes we have booby prizes. Like someone will literally say a thing that I want to be a multi-millionaire by next year, but you don't have any cents in your bank account and you don't even have a plan of how you're going to get there. It's a booby goal, it's a booby prize. It's not actually realistic in a way. It's got to be like brick over brick, step by step, little by little bit. And the only way is to go into the unknown. You don't know how you're going to do that, so that's why you got to go into the unknown and do it. Like, let me show you this in the Bible. From Genesis chapter 12 verse 1, where God says, now the Lord said unto Abraham, go thee out of thy country and from thy kindred and from thy father's house unto a land that I will show thee. So he tells Abraham, nah, nigga, you gotta go out. He tells Abraham that he has to move and go into the unknown, because that's the only way you grow. For you to be informed, you have to go into the unknown, go into the abyss, But the problem is the abyss will also go into you. The problem about that is you might die, but if you stay, you might lose your soul. So it's better to go out anyway. Anyway, it's worth it for something meaningful. And that's the only way you grow, because you have necessity. You're not deprived of necessity when you go out into the abyss, because you have this survival thing for you to go. Like moving out can help you have necessity, or like doing something you don't know. That's how you know, because you don't know. You live in the arena. You learn as you iterate as you move forward. There's this quote of Viktor Frankl. He says, he who has a why can bear almost anyhow. Because if anything bad happens, you know why you're doing it in the first place. So there's meaning in what you're doing. Except some people that do meaningless things, you cannot justify whatever you're doing. I think it's better to be directionally correct than just being complete aimless. Because people that are aimless seek hedonic pleasure, and the hedonic pleasure is not good, because it lasts for a moment and you get depressed. When you get depressed, your brain seeks more pleasure and you get addicted to things like alcohol. I'm not saying alcohol is bad, but if you have a goal and alcohol takes you away from the goal, that's when it becomes bad. I think having a goal, let's say you have a certain goal, and when you go out, it makes your goal a bit harder to achieve. It hurts you because the goal has become part of your identity. It has become part of your identity. So when you try to achieve a goal and you go out and party and everything, it affects your identity, which hurts your soul, which makes it easier for you not to do any of that. But if that does not affect anything, then that's good. Most people that don't have any meaningful goals will do that and they will not feel anything because it doesn't affect anything in the first place, you know? So anyway, I would say, let me say, this is your goal and this is you and you want to get here. So the thing is, as long as you go that way, it's better, because at the end of the day, you're going to get here. Either you do it this way. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be you just have to be directionally correct. As long as you know whatever I'm doing one day is going to get me to where I want to get. You don't have to be a sniper and get there at one step. It takes 1,000 iterations to get wherever we want to get. That's the thing that I failed to realize this year, that it takes way more work and it takes way more effort and takes way longer than you actually think it does. And it's difficult. Very difficult. It's more difficult than we actually think it is. And it's a reality that I had to come through, that it's gonna take longer and it's way harder than I think it is. But as long as you never stop, you will get it, because that's what success and failure is. Success and failure, like failure is just going out before you get there, but it's in the same road. Let me show you. Success and failure are in the same road, yeah? And this is you. Success and failure are in the same road. Failing is just getting out before you get there. Success is just waiting in the game long enough for you to get your share, you know? You hang around the barber long enough, you end up getting a free haircut. Come on. So that's why it is. You know, you've got to kill your old self for your new self to be reborn. And for your new self to be reborn, you have to let go of all some other bad things or some other things that you used to do, and then just let them go, because they're not a part of you anymore. For you to get something, you know, you've got to have a hustler mindset. And Friedrich Nietzsche actually talks about this too. He says having the why in everything, because life is suffering. In the end of the day, we suffer as human beings. It's part of the world, and people want to make it not normal. It's normal. When you grow up, it's painful. When you go down, it's painful. And every single aspect is painful, and it's part of life. People want to take it out as if it's not a natural thing. It is natural. The privilege we have is choosing. We choose which pain we want to bear, the why, the how. We have the privilege of choosing that. I think it's very good for you to choose how you suffer than, you know, just suffering aimlessly without anything you want in your life. I guess we'll chat later then in a bit, yeah?